This was not on my bingo card. The Blind Side being absolutely false, allegedly, is literally haunting me. So I wanted to make a video on it. Another day, another black story being told by Hollywood. That's absolutely false. Today I found out that Michael Oher actually wasn't adopted by the Oher family. This doesn't surprise me because we have plenty of cases, we've heard of plenty of cases where Caucasian parents will adopt athletes to make money off of them. So I just didn't think that The Blind Side, my God, would be a lie. Of course, it's a Hollywood movie. It's based, quote unquote, on a true story. So they exaggerate it, give it a little pizzazz to make us watch it and to dramatize the film. But allegedly, this whole story is absolutely false. Let's talk about it. The Blind Side, aka The BS, is a 2009 American fiction sports drama film written and directed by John Lee Hancock. Based on the 2006 book of the same name by Michael Lewis, the film tells the story of Michael Oher, an American football offensive lineman who overcame an impoverished upbringing to play in the National Football League. With the help of his purported adoptive parents, Sean and Leah Ann Toohey, it stars Sandra Bullock as Leah Ann Toohey, Tim McGraw as Sean, and Quentin as Oher. The film was a commercial success, grossing $309 million on a $29 million budget. Despite mixed reviews from critics, Bullock's performance was universally praised, leading to her winning the Academy Award for the Best Actress. Bullock also won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture and the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role. The film also received a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Picture. 17-year-old Michael, aka Big Mike Oher, has been in foster care with different families in Tennessee due to his mother's drug addiction. But every time he is placed in a new home, he runs back to her. His friend's father, in which Michael stayed with him, asks Bert Cotton, the football coach of Wingate Christian School, to help get his son and Michael enrolled. Impressed by Mike's size and athleticism, Cotton gets him admitted despite his poor academic record. Michael is befriended by a younger student named Sean Toohey Jr. SJ's mother, Leah Ann, is a strong-minded interior designer and the wife of a wealthy businessman, Sean Sr. The school staff tells Michael that his father has died, apparently due to an accident. Later, Leah Ann and Sean watch their daughter Collins playing volleyball. After the game, Sean notices Michael picking up food discarded on the bleachers. On the eve of Thanksgiving, Leah Ann notices Michael walking alone on the road, shivering in the cold without adequate clothing. When she learns that he plans to spend the night huddled outside the closed school gym, Leah Ann offers to let him sleep on the couch in the Toohey's home. The next morning, Leah Ann notices that Michael has left. Seeing him walking away, she asks him to spend the Thanksgiving holiday with her family. Later, Leah Ann drives Michael to his mother's house. He sees an eviction notice posted on the door, indicating that his mother is gone. Slowly, Michael becomes a member of the Toohey family. Leah Ann's friends question this and suggest that Collins might not be safe around him, but Leah Ann criticizes them. She later asks Collins how she feels about it. Collins replies that they cannot just throw Michael out. When Leah Ann seeks to become Michael's legal guardian, she learns he was taken from his drug-addicted mother when he was 7 and that no one knows her whereabouts. She is also told that although he scored poorly in a career aptitude test, he ranked in the 98th percentile in protective instincts. Michael eventually improves his grades enough that he can play football at school. However, Michael appears to be hesitant to use his strength and size while practicing. Leah Ann tells him as an offensive lineman he must protect his quarterback. From that moment, Michael improves dramatically, well enough to play at the college level. However, to do that, he must meet the minimum grade point average to get in, so the Tooheys hire a private tutor for him, the outspoken and kind Miss Sue. Leah Ann has a face-to-face conversation with Michael's mother about adopting him. Although she seems unresponsive in the beginning, the mother finally wishes Michael the best. Michael is heavily recruited by many prestigious schools. SJ talks to coaches and negotiates on Michael's behalf and his own. When Michael gets his grades high enough, he decides to attend the University of Mississippi. Michael runs away before the interview is over and confronts Leah about her motives for taking him in. He then proceeds to find his biological mother in Hurt Village. A gang leader welcomes him back, offers him a beer, and makes sexually offensive insinuations about Leah Ann and Colin. When Michael gets angry, the gang leader threatens to go after them, and as a result, Michael ends up in a fight with him and his gang. After thinking things over and questioning Leah Ann, Michael tells Granger he chooses Ole Miss because, quote, "it's where my family goes to school." Michael is accepted into college and says his farewells to the Toohey family. The film ends with information about and photos of the real Toohey family and Michael Oher. He was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in the first round of the 2009 NFL draft and went on to play nationally. Okay, that's the description of the movie that I found online. But as I was doing my research, I watched a lot of interviews with the Toohey family, and they did admit that the movie was dramatized. So they actually didn't take him immediately to their home once they saw him walk into the bus station. They just took him to another bus stop. So it was clear that this family took precautions about, this person that they were trying to invite into their circle. Also, they didn't know in the movie that Michael Oher had been playing football and had been invited to this Christian school before he even met the Toohey family. He had friends, he had people that he was in relationship with already, but we'll get into that later in the video. Okay, let's get into the alleged lies, child. Retired NFL star Michael Oher, whose supposed adoption out of grinding poverty by a wealthy white family was immortalized in the 2009 movie The Blindsided. He has petitioned a Tennessee court Monday with allegations that a central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expense. The 14-page petition filed in Shelby County, Tennessee probate court alleges that Sean and Leah Ann Toohey, who took Oher into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Oher turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservators, which gave them legal authority to make business deals in his name. The petition further alleges that the Tooheys used their power as a conservators to strike a deal that paid them and their 2 birth children millions of dollars in royalties from an Oscar-winning film that earned more than $300 million, while Oher got nothing for a story that would not have existed without him. In the years since, the Tooheys have continued calling 37-year-old Michael their adopted son and have used that assertion to promote their foundation as well as Leah Ann Toohey's work as an author and motivational speaker. The lie of Michael's adoption is one upon which co-conservators Leah Ann and Sean have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward. The undersigned Michael Oher, the legal filing says. Michael discovered this lie to his embarrassment in February of 2023 when he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Toohey family. In fact, provided him no familial relationship with the Tooheys. Michael's petition asks the court to end the Tooheys' conservatorship, issue an injunction barring them from using his name and likeness. It also seeks a full accounting of the money the Tooheys earned using Oher's name and to have the couple pay him his fair share of profits. Since at least August of 2004, conservators have allowed Michael, specifically in the public, generally to believe that conservators adopted Michael and have used that untruth to gain financial advantages for themselves and the foundations which they own or which they exercise control. The petition states, all monies made in said manner should in all conscience and equity be disgorged and paid over to Michael Oher. Michael was a rising high school senior when he signed the conservatorship papers, and he has written that the Tooheys told him that there was essentially no difference between adoption and conservatorship. They explained to me that it means pretty much the exact same things as adoptive parents, but that the laws were just written in a way that took my age into account, or wrote in his 2011 best-selling memoir, I Beat the Odds. But there are some more important legal distinctions. If Michael had been adopted by the Tooheys, he would have been a legal member of their family and he would have retained power to handle his own financial affairs. Under the conservatorship, Michael surrendered that authority to the Tuohys, even though he was a legal adult with no known physical or psychological disabilities. The petition alleges that the Tuohys began negotiating a movie deal about their relationship with Oher shortly after the 2006 release of the book The Blindsided, Evolution of a Game, which chronicled the story. According to the legal filing, the movie paid the Tuohys and their 2 birth children each $225,000 plus 2.5% of the film's defined net proceeds. While the deal allowed the Tuohys to profit from the film, the petition alleges a separate 2007 contract purportedly signed by Michael that appears to give away to 20th Century Fox Studios the life rights to his story without any payment whatsoever. The filing says Michael has no recollection of signing that contract, and even if he did, no one explained the implications to him. The deal lists all 4 Tuohy family members as having the same representative at Creative Arts Agency, but Oher's agent, who would receive movie contract and payment notices, is listed as Deborah Brannon, a close family friend of the Tuohys, and the same lawyer who filed the 2004 conservatorship petition. The petition alleges, in the past, the Tuohys have denied making much money from the movie, saying they received a flat fee for the story and did not reap any of the movie's benefits. And what they did earn, they added, was shared with Oher. We divided it 5 ways, the Tuohys wrote in the 2010 book In a Heartbeat, Sharing the Power of Cheerful Giving. Oher's court petition says he never received any money from the movie, even though he long suspected that others were profiting, according to his attorney. And since the film's success coincided with the start of his lucrative NFL career in 2009, Oher did not take the time to fully investigate the deal until after he retired in 2016, his attorney says. Michael eventually hired a lawyer who helped him uncover the details surrounding the movie deal and his legal connection to the people he believed were his adopted parents. His lawyer unearthed the conservatorship document in February, and Michael came to the painful realization that the Tuohys had not adopted him. Mike didn't grow up with a stable family life, Oher's lawyer states. When the Tuohy family told Mike they loved him and wanted to adopt him, it filled a void that had been with him his entire life. Discovering that he wasn't actually adopted devastated Mike and wounded him deeply. As the movie portrayed the story, the Tuohys adopted Oher, a poor, virtually homeless, and academically challenged black teenager. They made Oher part of a functional family for the first time. They helped him catch up in school, taught him the basics of football and how to harness his physical skills, putting him on the road to sports stardom. The truth, however, was more complicated. Okay, let's get into this truth, or this petition that Michael Oher is filing this year. Michael Oher was one of 12 children born to his mother who struggled with drug addiction. Before his 11th birthday, Michael was placed into foster care, where he bounced around numerous houses and at times lived on the streets. Although he was a capable student, he attended 11 schools in 9 years and repeated both the first and second grades, leaving him behind academically. His fortunes changed after a friend's father, impressed with Michael's inner drive and focus, introduced him to the principal of a private Christian school in a prosperous Memphis neighborhood. Michael began attending the school in 10th grade, even as his home life remained chaotic. He was a sports prodigy, excelling in track and field, basketball, and football, a game he had studied for years. He began playing football for his new school in 11th grade, quickly establishing himself as one of the nation's top offensive linemen, and college scholarship offers poured in from big-time football programs across the country. Because of his unstable housing situation, Michael frequently stayed over at the homes of his classmates, including the Tuohys, whose children attended the school. The petition says that the Tuohys forged a close relationship with him once Michael's athletic prowess drew wide attention. They invited him to spend more nights at their spacious Memphis home and took him shopping. Eventually, they asked Michael to move in. They encouraged him to address them as mom and dad and said they planned to adopt him, the petition says. Michael Oher was delighted with all that at the time, his lawyer said, and he fully trusted the Tuohys. Michael went on to play college football at the University of Mississippi. the Tuohy's alma mater. He was a two-time All-American and a first-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens in 2009. After the success of The Blind Side, however, suspicion slowly eclipsed Oher's trust of the Tuohys, his lawyer said. Quote, Mike's relationship with the Tuohy's family started to decline when he discovered that he was portrayed in the movie as unintelligent, unquote. Their relationship continued to deteriorate as he learned that he was the only member of the family not receiving royalty checks from the movie, and it was permanently fractured when he realized he wasn't adopted and a part of the family. For years, Michael has been saddened at how The Blind Side depicted him, saying it hurt his football career and clouded how people viewed him. He said that for years, Michael has been saddened at how, based on the film, some NFL decision makers assumed he was mentally slow or lacked leadership skills. Quote, people look at me and they take things away from me because of a movie, Michael told ESPN in 2015. They don't really see the skills and the kind of player I am. For their part, the Tuohys agreed that Michael always had what it took to succeed. If there is a fundamental misapprehension about Michael, it's that he needed saving, the Tuohys wrote in their book. We discovered that underneath his shyness, his foot shuffling, and his head ducking, he had a tremendous will to determine the course of his own life. For years, Michael Oher has said he was content to live with the myth created by the movie, reasoning that it's an inspirational message and it outweighed the pain inflicted by what he saw as its inaccurate portrayal of his life. But that has changed, child. Quote, there has been so much created from The Blind Side that I am grateful for, which is why you might find it as a shock that the experience surrounding the story has also been a large source of some of my deepest hurt and pain over the past 14 years. Oher wrote in his book, When Your Back's Against the Wall, released last week. Beyond the details of the deal, the politics, and the money behind the book and movie, it was the principle of the choices some people made that cut me the deepest. Oh my goodness. Man, this has been going on for the last 8 years and somehow it's just now blowing up this year. I think it's going to blow up in the next couple of days actually. But this is the first time that I'm hearing the truth about the overall movie. But to find out that these people use this man allegedly, quote unquote, to make money and they didn't give him nothing, like not a dime. You telling me they made a movie for $40 million and they made $309 million and they couldn't give him a meal? Ooh, I would be livid. I would just be gagged. And not in, like, outside of the money, the fact that this man grew up in the hood, he grew up in a very traumatic home with multiple siblings, just not knowing where his next meal would come from. And you're telling me that you came into his life and said that you wanted him to call you mom and dad, and you steal from him and exploit his story, and you portray him to be some undereducated black man who needs a white female savior in the movie to further hinder his football career? Question mark? Oh, I'm just, y'all, like, let's talk about this because I don't know about you, but I get a little weary when I see a white couple with black kids. I just be like, because black people are, not trying to not be stereotypical, but we are very talented people. We can sing, we can play sports. That's just simply what we're known for. And I feel like some of these families specifically look for little boys and little girls that they can train up and then exploit as they get older. There is a trend where families are like literally outside of adoption, outside of the story, there's a trend of parents using their kids to profit off of. And I feel like it's getting worse and worse to the point where they are now creating laws that legally, if your kid is on video or doing any type of entertainment, you have to pay them regardless of how old they are. So it's just very interesting. I immediately wanted to make a video. As soon as my husband started reading about this story, I was like, let's talk about it. So yeah, it's just, man, it's a sad, sad, sad world we live in. Okay, but let's get into these comments. Tell me if you knew about his story already and this is not news to you, or maybe you're just like me. This is like breaking freaking news, like a Easter egg for me. Anyway, thanks so much for watching my channel. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, and I hope to see you on our next episode.